Never owned a fancy pole. Old bamboo rode a fishing line, watching that river roll.
Yep, I am back in the CHLY booth with you this Sunday, and I have a guest coming in just after 1 o'clock. Linda Lavender is joining the booth, and we're going to be talking to her about her upcoming gig with Kenny Baralt, I do believe, and she's going to be playing live.
Slow, I'm wearing my shoes, my traveling pack and a smile.
FM, Community Campus Radio in Nanaimo.
From Linda Lavender's CD Unforeseen, here's the title track, and then she's going to play it live too. Don't you love this? I do.
Lonely tonight, all I want is you.
Nice, and that's the studio version.
That's right. That's right. It's the studio version, and you will hear an unplugged version when you come to my show on Thursday night.
Nice. So we were just talking off here, and we're going to repeat this, because when you've got a song that you've written and on guitar, Linda plays guitar, how does the song change again when you go into the studio?
Well, you'll hear a huge difference, because this is what it sounds like when it's a singer-songwriter playing and writing a song. And I was fortunate enough to be in the studio with Nick Blagona, the legendary Nick Blagona, who produced my album. And he joked about this song, and it became the title track because of our work in the studio.
Oh, nice.
And he said, well, I'm going to Cecil B. DeMille this one up with you, okay? So he threw everything at it, all of his studio experience, and we came up with that result, and the players on it were just awesome. So there's a huge difference.
Right.
And I'd love to play it live.
Yes, please.
Yeah. There's no point in saying there's a thing I can't do. My heart, it does what it knows to. Heady as a bird, first flight in spring. Cool blue horizon levels everything. Tangled my line in a treacherous lake. Gone for the limit, all the give, all the take. Haven't seen the forest since late last fall. Wind in the trees simplifies it all. If it's a thin line, I'll run it to you. Feel your skin on mine like nothing else in this world. Oh, when you're near me, how golden it seems. Double crossed by eternity. Brave and blindly fumbling into the unforeseen. Lonely tonight, all I want is you. That's the abbreviated version.
Nice. So to hear the whole thing with accompaniment by Kenny Baralt, you got to go to the Lighthouse Bistro on Thursday night.
Exactly.
How did you connect with Kenny?
I first moved to Nanaimo in September of 21, and things were still pretty shut down
Right.
from COVID. But in the spring of that year, things did start to open up a little bit, and there's a singer-songwriter group in Nanaimo. It's existed for quite some time, and Kenny's kind of, well, loosely in charge of that group, reluctantly the leader.
Yes, because I stepped away and Kenny picked it up.
Well, he's very diplomatic, and it's a very shared group.
Yes.
However, I did go, and I met him for the first time there.
Nice.
Shared some songs.
Yep.
Stories about writing songs and some of the craft, which is excellent to be able to be in touch with other songwriters in the area. So we both like playing different kinds of music, and we have similar, shall I say, catholicity of taste.
Nice. Yes.
Regarding our music.
Well put. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm from folk and country roots, I would say, because as a singer-songwriter, I loved Joni Mitchell and Gordon Lightfoot and Bruce Cockburn growing up. However, it has seriously broadened over the years. In fact, you might want to play another track off my album. Billy Boy is my banjo, clawhammer banjo song, which is partially, it got translated by my music partner, Sam CHLY, into Arabic. So you'll hear him singing in Arabic on it.
What an interesting twist to that. Because you've said singer-songwriter, which is a little bit more bluegrass and folk, yet your CD is not, right? So
true enough.
It's been taken, as you're saying off air, to another level.
That's right.
Right? So,
yes.
And that's why it sounds different when you're doing the unplugged version as opposed to the studio version. So here is Billy Boy. Have a listen. And I know, listeners, that you have heard enough on Songwriter Circle as well as other shows that when you get to hear the person live, you get the stories, you get the nuance, you get the essence of the song, as opposed to pushing a button. Very different sound to that one for sure.
Indeed.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, and I would again say that the uncut version would be a little bit different yet.
Definitely would be.
Right.
Although we are playing it live with drums, a doumbek, and bass,
nice.
And guitar. Banjo, that is.
Banjo. Yeah. So this coming Thursday, March 9th, which happens to be my dad's birthday. If I can after work, I might just show up and have a drink for Dad. So at the Lighthouse Bistro Pub, it starts at 6 and goes to about 8:30, and reservations are probably recommended because there's not too many seats and they will fill up quickly. So phone the Lighthouse Bistro Pub and reserve your chair to make sure you have a place to put your butt. Because live music and it's so nice to be able to get out and enjoy live music. We missed it. So Linda, when you are writing, you write about your experiences, but it sounds like you can embellish well.
I have an active imagination. Yes, and people often ask me about whether it's autobiographical, and pretty much the way I feel about that is as soon as I start to write, or as soon as anyone starts to write or make a piece of art, it becomes a work of fiction right off the bat, because it's no longer what actually happened. It's your view of what happened, and there's a filter, right? The person writing.
Yep.
So you take that along the way of writing a piece, and if you're open to it, that piece can change quite a bit from the actual events of one's life and one's current world, and even one's dream world, which is sometimes where songs come from. Mm-hmm. So this particular song that I'm going to play for you, called "They Won't Catch Me Again," it's about being an outlaw and running from the law and a jailbreak. And I started off writing it in the third person about a man who might have been in jail for the reasons listed in this song. But later through the writing process, I decided to write it about in the first person. So it's now about me and what happens in my mind.
Lovely. Here we go.
It's my last lonely ride. See me floating down the stream. I read the last page and I've done my time. Somehow I wasted all my dreams. Like a fool was blind when I could have seen. Like a fool I wasted all my dreams, all my dreams. I lost my heart in Andrewsville. Now it's floating down the stream. I robbed a store in Old New Bliss. Sheriff stole away my dreams. That black night I said a prayer. God, please help me get away. But they locked me up in my 20th year. Lord, I can't take another day. They won't catch me again. It's my last lonely ride. If they try to take me back, it's goodbye. I only meant to get some cash, to run away with my sweet love. But the clerk, he called me by my name. I lost control. The gun went off. My baby told me he won't wait. And what a fool to rob that store. If he only knew how I can't wait. My life ain't worth the living for. They won't catch me again. It's my last lonely ride. If they try to take me back, it's goodbye. My mother's eyes, they filled with tears when she saw me in my cell. She said she'd pray to save my soul, but it's too far down the road to hell. They won't catch me again. It's my last lonely ride. If they try to take me back, it's goodbye. No, they won't catch me again. It's my last lonely ride. If they try to take me back, it's goodbye.
Okay, it sounds like you had a little bit of fun with that.
I did indeed. Yeah.
So in the process of writing, do you literally step out of your life and pretend you're in there just to get into that?
Not on purpose,
just-
but it does happen. I get an idea, and whether that be from an instrumental thing or from some of the lyrics in the song, and I will let it go where it goes on its own,
Right.
because I love to follow that muse and see what's going to happen. It's like baking a cake or working in a lab or something. You have your recipe, you have your ingredients at your house, and you've got your pans and your bowl, and you're thinking about what you're going to do with it.
Yep.
Put it all together, pop it in the oven, and hallelujah, something comes out that you may never have expected, and perhaps it's better than you ever expected if you allow it to be.
Yeah.
And then, taking it out of the oven and getting it out of the pan is more of how is that song going to be presented.
Yep.
How is that cake going to be plated?
Yes.
What are we going to get with it? A piece of, mint on the side, or are we going to get some berries with it, or a chocolate swirl? So, yeah.
And then there's how is it taken when it's received? Like, how does the person enjoy it?
Exactly.
Right? So
and what
that's a nice analogy.
And what does the listener notice about that cake, you know? And what do they notice about what do they know about the background of that song, you know? Or what are they hearing?
So
the small things they might hear.
I'm going to use your analogy. Have you ever put a cake in the oven and been wowed when it came out, or went, oh, it not what I expected?
Sometimes it doesn't rise.
Yeah, there can be that.
But we pull it out of that crisis anyways. You know, I'll still take it out and try to, you know, make it work. Cut it, you know, slice it down the center and put some icing in the, you know, and layer it.
Yeah.
Layer it. Make it work.
My grandma used to make a crumb cake.
Yeah.
Out of the cakes that didn't actually do what they were supposed to do.
Nice. Or also...
You can recreate.
Also trifle.
Yo, yes. Well, and that's a totally different thing in itself. But yeah, there's nice. Indeed. So how long have you been writing? How did you start? Like how young were you when you first went, oh, I like doing this?
I was writing poetry when I was a preteen. And my older brother, and his friend, the boy next door, got guitars. So they were about 5 years older than me. And they got these really nice classical guitars and started trying to play. And my brother kept it up, but the friend didn't take to it. Mm-hmm. He said, Linda, here, you can have mine. Just, you know, take this guitar. Nice little classical guitar. I still have it to this day.
Nice.
And I started kind of putting my poetry to the music and haven't stopped doing that ever since.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful flow when you allow the creativity to come. I found talking to others, as well as my own experience, if I don't do well. I feel like I'm wearing clothes that are too tight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So another song off of, Linda has 2 CDs with her. One is with Often Running. The
Rosso Sessions.
And why is it called this?
That was recorded in a week-long experience at my cellist's cottage. He was my bass player and cellist. Peter LeBlanc had a cottage on Lake Rosso, and we brought the band up there. We used to rehearse up there all the time and have very good and creative times and boathouse concerts and things like that.
Nice.
It's a very nice area. So we set up with our friend, an engineer friend, we set up a recording studio in his, what he called his great room of the cottage, which overlooked the lake, which is a lovely place. And they put up baffles and many, many different kinds of microphones. And we recorded it all live off the floor with only a few overdubs of some harmonies later. So we named it after that session, the recording sessions, the Rosso Sessions.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So how about another song from this CD before I have you play something live? So what would you like us to?
Love to. How about I play Caledonia?
Okay.
Caledonia is a song I wrote on a road trip. I wrote it on the mandolin when I first learned how to play mandolin. And it's about a pilgrimage that I took to the East Coast after a very difficult time in my life. And it's about a beautiful place in Nova Scotia called Caledonia. It's en route to the Digby Ferry. And I was kind of taken by it, and it was a pretty healing place for me, too. And I wrote it in a kind of a Celtic style, which is what I'm going to play right now.
Nice. And here it is.
There's a pony running near Caledonia. There's some horses grazing by the side of the road. Passing by Lake Nancy, I wanted to phone ya. Driving all the way to the ferry boat. Sunny morning skies over Caledonia, picking out a tune on the mandolin. Maybe I can. Well, you know you just can't win. Round the bend is Caledonia. Rivers running, come on, let's ride. Round the bend is Caledonia. Ferry, take me over to the other side. I'd like to settle down north of Caledonia, living by the ocean and countryside. You might like to come, here's a map, I'll show ya. We could have a garden and some trails to ride. Round the bend is Caledonia. Rivers running, come on, let's ride. Round the bend is Caledonia. Ferry, take me over to the other side. Reeling my soul back in from the ocean, gathering pieces of my heart from the sky, catching my breath in an Acadian heaven, catching the ferry for the other side. Round the bend is Caledonia. Rivers running, come on, let's ride. Round the bend is Caledonia. Ferry, take me over to the other side. Round the bend is Caledonia. Rivers running, come on, let's ride. Round the bend is Caledonia. Ferry, take me over to the other side.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's a you could have people singing along with that one real quick, right? So,
It is good for that.
and do you enjoy that when people have heard your songs a couple of times and they actually do start singing along, or do you invite people on occasion to sing along?
I invite them to sing along at every opportunity, and I hope that my friends will be coming to this event and singing along with me, which they did the last time we played together, and it was really, really wonderful to have them singing along because it is catchy.
Yeah, it is. That's one of those ones that, yep, that's people won't realize that their toes are tapping or their heads are nodding or they are singing along, which is a lovely compliment to the artist.
It is. Have people singing along or dancing.
Yeah,
It's lovely to be playing to people dancing too.
So, you've mentioned mandolin, guitar, and banjo. Do you play all?
My main
Okay.
instruments. My main three, yes.
Main three.
Yes.
So other than guitar, mandolin, and banjo, what else do you play?
Oh, I dabble at playing bass, but I always like to get a pro or someone really good to play bass for me and with me. Mm-hmm. That kind of collaboration is really nice. I've dabbled in the ukulele as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'll play that from time to time. Mm-hmm. But really, I'm trying to restrict that a little bit, the number of instruments that I try to learn, because juggling three is good, is it's enough work.
Right. Yeah.
I'm an instrumentalist and I play instrumentals as well, and I like to learn fiddle tunes and old time banjo tunes. I play clawhammer style banjo, and I like to learn old time tunes on it and keep my chops up on all of them, and that's actually takes a lot of time.
It would do, because you want to be proficient at each one of them, right? Because especially when you're songwriting. So when you're writing a song, do you start okay, well, this sounds like a mandolin song, or do you start with the instrument and then the lyrics? Yeah.
As I say, I'm an instrumentalist and a writer in many, many different kinds of ways. I write other things than poetry, and so I do each individually, and then I'm blending the two to write a song. It varies. It varies what comes first or how it gets written. I find a good place to write is on road trips in the car. If I'm on the highway, I can, how your mind gets to
wander
lots of things, and sometimes a song will come into my head, and happily we have all this technology, and I can, click on my phone app and record maybe a line that I'm thinking about and the melody with it at the same time, and then it's a notepad, and I can take it to my home later or wherever it is that I'm going to write the rest of the song, my studio later.
We're very fortunate now to just have to be able to push a button to record the thought, the melody, that nugget.
Yeah.
Because I so many times have not had something to write down on or in a place where it was appropriate to do so. So we're fortunate.
I have notepads all over my house for those occasions. I like to write still with a pencil and a piece of paper. And I'll tell you that the songs pretty much always get written with a pen and paper first in my world.
Yay!
Old school.
I have napkins. Don't throw that out. There's a song on there. Right?
I still have a napkin from Egypt that I wrote ideas for a song, because we toured in Egypt with that Arabic style stuff and other stuff too.
Oh wow, nice.
And I have a napkin at home. It's at the bottom of this song idea pile. It's been there for a while, and I have written ideas on that napkin. I should pull that out. Thanks for reminding me.
My pleasure. Because, those are the ones that you think, I wrote it down somewhere and where, but that memory is so clear to you that sounds like something that's, kind of calling you back.